Attention bowlers, we are going to get started. Please finish your warm-up frames. We'll be changing to scoring in just a moment. Folks, welcome to Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooters Sports Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire for another Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match. This is Class C North. It'll be Dave LaRoche at Paul Campos here at Exeter. I'm Steve Kelly. I'll be with you today here at Exeter for the bowling and calling the match, and all the matching bowling stuff. Paul Campos comes to us as the runner-up from the Class F finals last year in the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. He's up in Class C this year. He's going to be challenging Dave LaRoche, defending the house against Dave LaRoche, and we'll see what goes from here. So let's, without further ado, turn it over to our bowlers. It's going to be Dave LaRoche, the away bowler today. And we're just about ready to get going. So yes, again, I'm Steve Kelly. I'm here to tell you the story of today's match. This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, brought to you by 3-Ball Spare Conglomerate. This match was played on Saturday, October 11th, 2025, at about 10:02 a.m. local time Eastern. The match format is 5 strings with 14 points on offer. It's 2 points per string and 4 for total pinfall. If there is a tie, the points are evenly split. If you've never seen Candlepin bowling, I hope you enjoy the match today. It's a unique take on Candlepin bowling, or on bowling, from the heart of New England and Eastern Canada. This broadcast should have subtitles and live captioning enabled. Enable them if you are interested. And actually, it's going to be Paul Campos starting things out. We'll be switching things up a little bit today. And that is going to be a 4-drop spread eagle for Paul Campos to start things out. And Mr. Campos will punch a few more out. He'll leave the 2, 3, 6, and 10. And he'll start things out with an 8-box. Mr. Paul Campos, the home bowler from Exeter Bowling Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Consider the transcript feature if you're watching this from YouTube. During the match, I'm going to provide to you via audio the play-by-play action and on-screen scoring to the best of my ability. The numbers on your screen are unofficial. The bowlers maintain the authority on the scores. I may occasionally pause to verify scores if things seem out of sync. I appreciate your patience when that happens. And I'll likely add chapters to the YouTube description later on YouTube if you want to jump to certain points in the games, if that is your preference. So that's enough with the housekeeping. There's a 6-drop by Paul Campos, 7-8-4-5. No wood to help him. And he'll poke out the 8. Be a 7-box or greater for Mr. Campos. And I'll make a 9-box out of it, a grayed out by Paul Campos. That's going to be 17 after 2. If in the off chance you enjoy this content, I encourage you to just consider subscribing to this channel to help us grow. It'll be the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook, as well as 3-Ball Spare on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Here comes Paul Campos. And he's on the head pin. The 7-10-6-2. Interesting split. Interesting 6-drop. Everything about that was just interesting. Was talking with Darren at Exeter Bowling Lanes before the match began. And he was saying lanes 10 and 11 were really flying, at least in the Friday Night Pro League last night. Couple of 170-ish games going on there. So that was hopeful for today. We'll see if these lanes are still hot from less than 12 hours ago. Paul Campos will take a 9-box. That's 26 after 3. He's 3 for 3 on the head pin. 2 splits. Here's Paul. 7 go down, 1-3-6. Now that's a leave he can do something with. You got to shoot the 1-3 pocket effectively. And he's all over it for a spare. Paul Campos is on the board in the 4th frame with a spare. Like I said, easy peasy shot. 36 in the bonus after 4 for Paul Campos. We'll get more into stats and facts and figures after we get a couple more boxes under our belt here in the match. I'll tell you a little bit about Paul Campos, though, in terms of his season. He has a season record of 14-14 so far with 2 matches played. There's a headpin shot and a good fill for Paul Campos. It's going to be an 8 fill after everything settles down there. That's 44 after 4. On the road, Paul Campos is 4-10. At home, he's 10-4. He's bowled 10 matches so far. Season average of 98. Away, 99.6. Home, 96.4. High single, 108. High series, 498. And for the spare, and Paul Campos has 2 in a row with an 8 fill. And then adding another spare on top of it for another opportunity for some bonus pin action. Paul Campos has made a great half here with 2 marks, 54 and a bonus. After 5, 4 for 5 on the head pin with 2 splits. Paul Campos making a great opening statement. Paul Campos is the home bowler. The home bowler is elected to go first. And now it's time for the away bowler, the challenging bowler, Dave LaRoche, to put up his response against Paul Campos. He'll start out in lane 11, just like Paul Campos did here on the ACST. Steve Kelly on the call, here in game 1 of 5. Dave LaRoche. He is the captain of my Thursday Night League team at Lakeside Lanes and the RFAA League team at Leda Lanes before that. This year, our team name is Punch Out Penitentiary at Lakeside Lanes. There's a 6 drop and a split, 1-3-6-10 with a wiggly 6 for Dave LaRoche. And he'll take the 6 and the 10, leaving the 1 and the 3. And Dave will take an 8 to start things out. 8 after 1 for Mr. LaRoche. Dave LaRoche has played 2 matches this season so far. We're still early in the season. He's in Class C North Division 4, an away record of 4-10, a home record of 8-6. Season average so far, 104.1, away 102, home 105.4. And there's Dave LaRoche, and he'll rip the rack for a strike with a dime. Take a look at this again. Watch this by Dave LaRoche. Sorry, that was going a little too slow, and he's already ready to bowl. We'll play that back in a little bit, unless he gets a double strike, and then we'll play the replay on the updated one. He'll drop 7 so far. I was trying to get fancy with the replay and jumping ahead, and just couldn't click it correctly. 6-9-10 for Dave LaRoche, working on a strike fill. And he's got it for the strike fill. Spare on strike for Dave LaRoche. That's 38 and a bonus after 3 by my count. All right, let's see if we can get this run a little bit faster than last time. All over it, Dave LaRoche. $38 and a bonus. And he'll take 3. 6 pack on the 10, that's a 3 fill. 41 after 3 now for Dave LaRoche. And he'll take a few more out. That's the 1, the 5, and the 8 now. This will be for a 10 box, and he'll make it a 9. That's 50 after 4 for Dave LaRoche. Compare that to 44 after 4 by Paul Campos, who's sitting on the bench on a mark after a double spare. But Dave LaRoche with a spare on strike didn't take that, laying down both bowlers with 2 marks in the first 5 boxes. Dave LaRoche isn't even done yet, so let's see what happens from here. So far, lanes 10 and 11 do appear to be kind of hot today. Dave LaRoche on the 6-10 pocket leaves the 1, the 2, the 5, the 8 and 9. That's a 5 drop for those keeping score at home. And he'll miss slightly off to the left. It's the 1, the 2, and the 9. $7 guarantee, and it will be an 8 for Dave, and that will be a 58.5 for Dave LaRoche, rising up to the occasion against Paul Campos. They're roughly even right now. It's 58 after 5 for Dave LaRoche. Paul Campos 54 and a bonus after 5 with this pending spare fill. That's your score update. Dave LaRoche at the moment up by 4, but that's going to change probably in the next couple of seconds here as Paul Campos, for the first time today, will take lane 10 at Exeter. Shooter Sports Pub. Let's see what happens here. Paul Campos. And he'll take a few out. That's appears to be a 2 fill. Okay, so that means Dave LaRoche will retain the lead in the first 5 boxes by 2. Let's see what the follow-up will be on this. Pocket shot on the outside should sweep this up nicely. But that ball is off to the right a little bit on the 10 pin. 3 down, 7 up so far. Here comes Paul Campos for the 10 box, and he'll make it a 7. That's 63 and 6 for Mr. Campos. Let's talk about not Dave LaRoche, Paul Campos. So he has, he has a season record of 14 and 14 after 2 matches. Away is 4 and 10, home 10 and 4. His longest streak of strings over 100 so far has been 3. And not on the head pin, but got a great mix of 7, 1, 3, 7 for Paul Campos. And he's just a little bit off to the left. 1, 3, 7 remain. And for the 10, a little bit off the 3, on the wood to the 3, and the 7 box it shall be for Paul Campos. That's 70 and 8. 70 and 7, excuse me. So Paul Campos, who had a great first half, 4 for 5 in the head pin. Second half, still working on finding it on lane 10. Sometimes switching to the opposite lane can change everything. You never know. Something you think wouldn't be a factor, but you'd be surprised in the world of Candlepin. There's Paul Campos on the 1-3 pocket. He drops everything but the 4. It's a single pin spare opportunity for Paul Campos on the 4 pin. Oh, just a little bit off to the right. Leaves the 4. And he'll leave that for a 9 box. That's 79 and 8 for Paul Campos. Paul Campos currently is second place in his division in Class C North Division 4. Last year he was in Class F North. He has 4 strikes, 16 spares, 18 tens for the season thus far, 38% perfect box percentage, and 980 seasonal total pins. And here's Paul Campos on the nose, but a little bit too much on the nose. He'll split 6. 4-6, 3-10. No wood. This is going to be an interesting shot. You got to connect with the 3-6 pocket, probably on the inside. That's what Paul Campos thought, but he just sailed off a little bit too much to the right. Going for the 10. He'll make a nice out of that with a 9 box for 88 and 9 for Mr. Campos. He's currently 6 for 9 on the head pin with 3 splits. Paul Campos so far, 1 match with greater than 7 points take home. But again, he's only bowled 2 so far. This will be match number 3 for Paul Campos. And on the 6-10 pocket, mixes down 8, leaves the 1-2. First ball was off target, but the Candlepin is more about the second ball. So he's on the 1-2, shooting for a spare now. And he'll just go off to the left a little bit off. And he's on the head pin, but leaves the 2. That will be a 9 for Paul Campos. That should put him at 97. And I will confirm that score in just a moment. Yep. All right, scores are confirmed. That is a 97 game 1 for Paul Campos here on the ACST. It's now time for Dave LaRoche to answer. He has a 58.5. Can he get to 97 or above? Let's find out. Welcome back. It's Dave LaRoche. Dave LaRoche, who is representing the Alamo, Texas Barbecue and Tequila Bar in Brookline, New Hampshire on 99 Route 113. There's a split for Dave LaRoche, a 5 drop and a split. The Alamo is run by Dominic Mariano, and he actually also bowls on our Thursday night Sportsman League at Lakeside Lanes. He was bowling in the RFAA League at Lita last year on a different team, but he joined us for this year at Lakeside Lanes. And he's a great bowler. Great lefty, throws really methodical, meticulous, smooth ball, and it's great to have him along as he runs the Alamo, and Dave is sponsored by the Alamo. There's a 5 box for Dave LaRoche. Anyways, that will put him at 63 and 6. But yes, the Alamo, Texas Barbecue and Tequila Bar, Brookline, New Hampshire. Every butt loves a good rub. Get smoked. Here's Dave LaRoche. Oh, and he'll poke the 2 and the 8 for a half Worcester. 2 drop for Dave LaRoche. We call that shot the half Worcester. A punch out of the 2 or 8, the 3 and the 9. This is the 2 and the 8 variant. And he'll shave off a few more on the right side as the 1-4-7-9. $10 with a 6 box guarantee, and he'll make it a 7. That's 70 after 7 for Dave LaRoche. Compare that to 70 after 7 for Paul Campos. We have ourselves a game, folks, even after the same number of boxes. Let's find out if Dave LaRoche can keep pace. There is a pin down there. Dave LaRoche has called it out. You see that stuck in the way back annals of the pit. Probably gonna have to respot that and hope it gets dislodged. Candlepin is a very mechanical, kind of analog style game, and sometimes that stuff just kind of happens, you know? And luckily a respot appears to have fixed that issue. Here comes Dave LaRoche. On the nose. 6 drop, 7-10, 4-2. Oh, and he almost converts it for the spare on the pocket of the 2 and the 4. The 2 shot right, just the right way, but maybe just a little bit forward, not on the 7. Perfect way to shoot for it, though. Dave LaRoche will clean that up, though, for a 10 box. Now we'll put him at 80 and 8, +1 over Paul Campos at 79 and 8 at the same point in the game. We are paper and pencil scoring at Exeter Bowling Lanes. No electronics to be found. So that's why we're occasionally pausing for score verification and whatnot. There is a 5-drop for Dave LaRoche. The hay bale on the right side. On the head pin, but not much to show for it. And he's right on the bail, but leaves the 9. Kind of got a front side splash. Another shot where it's like, he hit it right, you know? And there's a 10 for Dave. 2 10s in a row. That's 90 and 9. Pulling ahead by 2 pins in the 9th to Paul Campos' 88. The winner of the first string will receive 2 points. As with the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, grand total pinfall is worth 4. Any ties results in splitting those points in half. LaRoche, downfield, drops 4 on a spread eagle. That makes things interesting. He's at 94 so far, and if he can get to 97, he'll tie. If he gets to 98, he'll win. That spread eagle shot makes it complicated. There's 1 needed. Oh boy. 6 poked out. He's got the 7, 10, 4, 2, and 3. This will come down to the final ball for Dave LaRoche. The pitch is out. He'll get 3 for an 8 box. And that means he will just barely take the first game by 1. 98 for Dave LaRoche for that 8 box and 97 for Paul Campos. And I will double check that. And and that is confirmed. 98 for Dave LaRoche, 97 for Paul Campos. Dave LaRoche takes it by 1 at the beginning. Still 4 games to go here on the ACST. Getting ready for the next game. Bear with me 1 second. And Paul Campos as well. Welcome to game 2. Paul Campos with a record of 14 and 14 this season. Up hit on the pocket for Paul Campos and a split of 5, 7, 10, 4, 6, 3. He's on the pocket on the right side, the right way to put the ball, but he leaves the 4 and the 7. This will be for a 10 box. He has the 4 and the 7 with a piece of perpendicular wood across the 4. And he's on for a 10. That's 10 after 1 for Paul Campos. Paul Campos so far is averaging 4 points per away match, averaging 10 points per home match. Head pin average per match 23, split average per match 9.5, with 1 guaranteed pinfall win so far this season. He has the 36th highest Class C average at 98. Here's Paul Campos, first ball, the 2nd frame, 9-pin thinking about it. It's a 6 drop. Recently, Paul Campos faced Brian Patton in round 2 at a home game at Exeter. He took 10 points, averaging 482, or he had a 482 series, 1 strike, 9 spares, 8 tens, 25 head pin shots, and 12 splits. Second ball sailed into the ocean. He's still got the 1, the 8, the 9, and the 10 for a 10 box. And he'll make that a 7 for 17 after 2 for Mr. Campos. Hope you're enjoying this match on this Saturday morning, this crisp, cool fall Saturday morning. Finally, the temperatures have kind of come down to earth a little bit here in New Hampshire after being unseasonably hot earlier in the season, but now we're very firmly in fall mode. The hoodies have come out, the sweatpants have come out, and so is the bowling. Here's Paul Campos on the headpin, and another kind of spread eagle, kind of not, 5 drop. Spread eagle minus the 2, it's the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. And he's on the pocket on the right side. Again, the right way to place the ball, but leaves the 4 and the 7. Not much you can do about that. Just needs some way to shoot some pins over to the left side to really take that for a spare. Paul Campos looking at the 4 and the 7 for an 8, 9, or 10 box, and it will be an 8. That's 25 after 3 for Mr. Paul Campos. In case you missed it, Dave LaRoche narrowly had a dramatic victory over Paul Campos in the first game, 98 to 97. It came down to literally the last ball of the last box. Dave LaRoche got it done, though, winning by 1 in the first game for 2 points. Here's Paul Campos of Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooter Sports Pub. And he's on the 4 and the 7. And Campos will shave off a few more. That's the 1, the 2, the 8, the 6, and the 10 down there now. And he'll make that a nice 7 box. That's the 8, the 6, and the 10 left for a 7 box for Paul Campos. That puts him at 32 after 4. Campos, 1-2 pocket, and it's a strike. That's one way. That's quite a way to end it, just like in the previous game. He'll drop 10, and he's got a mark on the half. That's a great way to sit, great feeling. 42 and a bonus for Paul Campos. On again, off again on the head, and 3 for 5 with 2 splits. That's the benchmark for Dave LaRoche to catch up to as the wall of defense. Here at Exeter Bowling Lane Shooter Sports Pub, it's Dave LaRoche. On lane 11, fires. 1-3 pocket, splits 7. Makeable spare leave. It's a split, but a fairly easy one. 2-5-7. And he's on the piece of wood to the right of the 5, and he cut over to the 7, but the 2 is left. Everything is settled in the channel. It'll be for a 10 box for Dave LaRoche. It's a 9. 9 after 1 for Dave LaRoche so far. Mr. LaRoche has a high single of 116 and a high series of 527 with 4 strikes, 22 spares, and 22 tens. With a 48% perfect box percentage, 1,041 seasonal pinfall so far. He's currently 3rd place in his division. 2 matches greater than or equal 500 in total pinfall take home. Longest streak of matches over 100 has been 3 so far for Dave LaRoche. And he'll take 2 out on the 6 and the 9 on the first ball. Here comes Dave. Oh, and that ball is off to the right. He'll hit the 10, completing the right side rear Candlepin corner after 2 balls. This will be for a 10. Good out, good cleanup. That will put him at 17 after 2 with that 8 box. Dave LaRoche on average has been taking 4 points per away match and 8 per home match. His head pin average per match so far is 24 for 50. 13 splits on average per match with 1 pinfall win. Here's Dave LaRoche on the pocket. It'll drop 8. The 4 and the 7 are left down there, and there's wood corralling around it. That looks like a good spare leave in my book. 8 drop for Dave. Will he get the layup? You have got to be kidding me. It is half, well, not half, maybe like 10% in the gutter. And it was hit. You know, you saw it, I saw it. It's unbelievable. We'll take that out in the revenge third ball for 27 after 3 for Dave LaRoche. That is unbelievable. I can't believe that didn't go as a spare. They're chuckling about it. Yeah, I've definitely had a few shots like that here at Exeter, and that is something. All right, here's Dave. Downfield. 1-2 pocket. Hey, it's the same leave. He gets a retry. He gestures. He says, don't do that to me again. All right. Deja vu. Same shot. You know the idea. I think the wood's a little better this time. Let's see if he can get it on the retry. Ball is away. He's got it that time. Dave LaRoche with a spare for 37 and a bonus after 4. And watch. There we go. There it goes. Nothing questionable about that time. No slide of the wood that time. Dave is filling a spare now in the 5th frame. A little to the right of the head pin, but a good fill is 6. 4 horsemen left side. 42 after 4. Let's see what Dave can do. And he'll take 3 of the 4, just missing the object pin. The object pin is the only pin that didn't go down. This will be for a 10 box for Dave. He'll make it a 9. That's a 51.5 for Dave LaRoche. We have ourselves another reasonably close game. Dave LaRoche plus 9 currently after 5:51. But Paul Campos is on a strike fill, so that lead may narrow, depending on Paul Campos's performance in his next 2 balls here. Paul Campos, who had a spare on strike in the first game. Let's see if he can repeat that performance. So it's a difference of total. It's a difference of 10 in the total. Dave LaRoche currently has it by 10, but again, Paul Campos is on a mark fill. And here he is, here to follow up that strike fill. Paul Campos here on the Atlantic Campos Singles Tour, Class C North. I'm Steve Kelly in the booth. Great to have you. Paul Campos so far 2 on the strike fill. Not a disaster yet. You get 2 balls on the strike fill. It's a left side half Worcester for Paul Campos. And he's going to nearly spare it. Wow, that was a great fill, though, and a great recovery by Paul Campos. He left the 5. That puts him at 51 after 5. Tie game, 51-51 after 5. LaRoche and Campos, respectively. 10 box opportunity for Paul Campos here. And he'll make that a 9. That's 60-6 for Paul Campos. Very close match. So, yeah, it's after a game and a half, these 2 bowlers are very, very close to one another. Again, Dave LaRoche threw a 98 in the first, Paul Campos threw a 97, and then they both have 51 halves here in the second game at 5 boxes in, so it's going to be a great one so far. Here you go, Paul Campos. A little bit off to the left to the head pin. Got a fair amount of pins out of it. He dropped 4 so far. Yeah, 4 and 5 for splits. Oh, and he'll just miss the outside of the head pin. That was the right idea. Just a plank off to the left into the ocean. And he'll go into the ocean again, and I'm afraid that's going to be a 4-box for Paul Campos here. A little unexpected, but 64-7 for Paul Campos as of right now. Just really wanted to connect with the outside of that head pin to get everything else to go. That's kind of the best idea. That's kind of a Class A strategy. Not the wrong idea for sure. It's just high risk, high reward, and the high risk factored in there. Here's Paul Campos again. Just thinly off the head pin by maybe a plank or two. Once again, he drops 5. It's the 4 horseman right side plus the 7 for Paul Campos. Paul Campos in his past matches so far, he's told 970 pins. And he's just on the head pin there. Takes out the horseman on the right side, but leaves the 7. Paul Campos, the 2024-2025 season ACST finalist for Class F. He's the runner-up. 102.17 average in Class F leading up to the playoffs. And there's a 9-box for Paul Campos. That's 73-8. So yes, Paul Campos threw a 474 in the ACST Class F finals, averaging 94.8. Charles Park threw a 535 that day. You can catch that match on 3-ball spare, along with all the ACST finals matches from earlier this summer. That was the first time I covered Paul Campos back then. And here he is again, back for more. And he'll drop 3 so far on the back left side. Campos on the pocket. Oh, takes all but the 2. Great idea. Great ball. Seeing a lot of those today where like the ball is going right where it needs to go. It's just the action and just doesn't quite take all the pins out. And Paul Campos will take that out for a 10. Take that 2-pin out for a 10. That's 83-9 for Paul Campos now. Hope you're enjoying the Saturday morning match. Grab a coffee, grab a scone, grab a croissant. I don't know what you eat, but grab something to chew on and watch this match with us. Here's Paul Campos dropping 6, dropping 7. It will be a split credit despite not hitting the head pin. Looks like the 3-6-8. And there may be might require a check on that pin. Might be in, might be not. I can't quite tell in this house by eyeballing it. Some other houses I can at Exeter. Not entirely sure. It might be in though. Gonna risk a shot on it. Paul Campos, well, probably got it in his head though a little bit. Took the 6 out. It's the 3 and the 8 for Paul Campos now. This will be for the end of the second game. He's at 83-9 with a potential for 93-10, currently 91. And he'll make that a 93 with that 10 box. A great way to end it. Paul Campos, 93 after 2 games for a total of 190. I will confirm that in just a moment. '93 is indeed confirmed for Paul Campos. Dave LaRoche, 51 after 5. Let's see what happens here in these next 5 boxes of the second game in this 5-game series in this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match on the road for Dave LaRoche and at home for Paul Campos. Dave LaRoche, to remind you, had a 51.5, matching Paul Campos' 51.5 after Paul Campos threw a 9-fill on the strike. And it was a difference of 1 in the first game. Dave LaRoche threw 98, Paul Campos threw 97. Here's LaRoche. Fires on the pocket. He's laughing at that. Dave LaRoche always laughs at shots like that. That's a 6-drop and accordion right side, 5, 6, 9, 10. No wood. Dave fires, he takes the 9 out, and yep, that's about the story of that shot. Just kind of an awkward leave all around, especially if there's no wood. And Dave will sail into the ocean. That's going to be a 7 box for Dave LaRoche. That's going to be 58 in 6. Dave LaRoche, again, would like to remind you that he is sponsored by the Alamo Texas Barbecue and Tequila Bar in Brookline, New Hampshire on 99 Route 113. Do check it out. Dominic Mariano had actually brought a bunch of food to Lakeside and set up like a buffet style kind of thing for make your own sandwiches at one of Dave's previous matches that I actually was streaming, so I actually got to sample the food as well, and it was great. Like, I gotta tell you, like, the food at the Alamo is fantastic. So just a little plug there, because that's Dave's ACST sponsor, 99 Route 113 in Brookline, New Hampshire, the Alamo. And there's a 10 box for Dave LaRoche. 68 in 7. 2 10s, 1 spare for Dave LaRoche. He's 4 for 7 on the head pin with 1 split this game so far. In the match, he's 10 head pin shots and 4 splits overall out of 17 thrown so far. Dave LaRoche, just a little bit off to the right, held onto it for maybe a smidge too long. Drops 2 on the 6 and the 9. Comes Dave, takes 3 more out, leaves the center not triangle, diamond. There's a 5 pin behind that. 1, 2, 3, 5. Dave on the diamond, and he takes the diamond though. That's a great shot at least. That's a 10 box for Dave, and that's 78 and 8, a hard fought one. So there's 2 boxes left in this game. Dave LaRoche has to get to 93 to tie, 94 or higher to win. Paul Campos, 2 game total of 190. Dave LaRoche currently at 176 and counting. Very close numbers overall. And he's on the head pin. That was a great shot right there. Everything but the 5 dropped. Definitive. Oh, and he'll just miss it a little bit. By a little bit, I mean, well, maybe a little more than a little bit, but, you know, a little bit. Dave LaRoche for the 10 box. Can he get 3 10s in a row? He sure can, and he'll get an 88 in 9 with that 3rd 10 box in a row, a triple X throwdown, and a Paul Grant special. While we're at it, all the superlatives. Miss the 2nd, get the 3rd. Check out Candlepin's #4cancer.com when you get a chance. Great charity for assisting bowlers or people in the bowling community in need of cancer treatments and assistance. Great bowling tournaments. You can win some money in addition to donating to a great cause, so do check it out. Candlepin's #4cancer.com. Here's Dave. It was almost a Caleri, but the sleeper fell last, and he drops 6. And that is enough to take the 2nd game for Dave LaRoche, because that 6 puts him at 94. So Dave LaRoche will take the 2nd game. This is for bonus, and he'll take 2 of 4. So this will be for the 10 box to pile onto the grand total pinfall lead. And it's another 10. That's 4 10 boxes in a row for Dave. After 4, Dave LaRoche is at 196 to Paul Campos' 190, up by 6 in the total, and takes the 2nd game. Both bowlers have 2 points apiece so far. That is the current landscape of things, and we're here to move on to the 3rd game now. It's going to be Paul Campos returning to the lanes here at the ACST. Steve Kelly on the call. Great to have you along. Excuse me, correction. No, Dave LaRoche has 4 points, not 2. Sorry, the first game was so close I forgot who won. It was actually Dave LaRoche, 98 to Paul Campos' 97. Here's Paul Campos. Bit of a skippy, lobby ball there. Well, not lobby, but bouncy. That was the word I was looking for. He dropped 6. 1-5-3-6. Another bouncy ball. Sent the ball a little bit off course. He leaves the 1 and the 6. It's the 1 and the 6 for Paul Campos with no wood. And he makes a nice 10 box out of it, though. That's 10 after 1 for Paul Campos. Start out this third game. Paul Campos, the home bowler here at Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooter Sports Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire. They just had their Friday Night Pro League match last night. And here he is on the pocket. 8 go down, splits 8. That is the 4 and the 5 for Paul Campos. And the wood down there, that's might be helpful, might not be. I think you got to hit from the left side in some way, definitely. Cutting it from the right to the left. I don't know. Question marks all around on this shot. Yeah, that was kind of the way I would throw it, but, you know, again, question marks all around. The 5 pin is left. Here's Paul Campos for a 10, and he's all over it for a 10. That's 2 10s in a row for Paul Campos. That's 20 after 2 for Paul Campos. Paul Campos is currently 10 for 21, or 22 on the head pin with 7 splits. First ball average 6.1 for Paul Campos, and for Dave LaRoche, it's averaging 5.7 right now. Both bowlers roughly equal in their fill totals, 18 for Dave LaRoche, 19 for Paul Campos. Dave averaging 6 on the fill, and Paul Campos averaging 6.3 on the fill. There's a pocket shot and a weird mix. I thought the pins were going to break a little bit differently, and I thought that was worthy of being a strike ball. 5-6-9 for Paul Campos, and I believe the 5 even moved a little bit to the left. Let's see what Paul Campos can do here. And that's about the best he can do with that any triangle. Leaves the 5. This will be for his third 10 box in a row. Can he get it? Can he? Maybe. Well, maybe not. That's a 9 box for Paul Campos and 29 after 3. There's on the head pin a little bit full-ish. Spread equal plus a bonus, but that's a 5 drop for Paul Campos. 7-10, 4-6-2. Piece of wood in between the 6 and the 10. Shouldn't necessarily disrupt the spare shot. And he'll connect with the left 3, but the right 2 are untouched. And for the 10 box, he'll take another 9. That's 2 10s and 2 9s. That's 38 after 4 for Paul Campos. Here is Mr. Campos for the 5th frame on the head pin on the 1-3. 2-5. 8 drop. Paul Campos, who averages 99.6 on the road and 96.4 at home. Looking for a spare here. Oh, just a little bit off the 2. Kicks the 5 via wood by proxy. And there's the 10 box for Paul Campos. 3 10s, 2 9s. Not bad for a half without marks. That's 48 after 5. 4 for 5 in the head pin. 2 splits for Paul Campos. 13 head pin shots overall. 8 splits, averaging 6 on the first ball. Pretty good stats overall for Paul Campos. Let's see if Dave LaRoche can match. Both bowlers are really neck and neck overall today. I don't know where this match is going to go by the end of it, but we'll find out. Starting now. Here's Dave on the head pin. Explosion to pins. Drops 8. 7-10. And that wood down there might be, yeah, I think it's okay. My suggestion is really kind of to go for the midpoint of that wood, left side of the cap. Of the frontmost wood, not the backmost wood. Just like that, yes. Yes, yes, yes. That was precisely how it should have been played and how it was played, and Dave LaRoche has got it. Let's watch the shot again. See the left side of that frontmost cap. Yep, that was it. Precisely how you hit it. Great shot by Dave LaRoche. For the follow-up, the bonus. 1-3. Great fill. 7 drop. 2 triangle. 2-4-5. No wood. Dave LaRoche. Shotgun snap. And the ball goes onto the triangle on the pocket. But the 5 is safe. So 17 after 1 for LaRoche. 9 or 10 here. 27 after 2 for Mr. Dave LaRoche. Let's talk about Dave LaRoche a little bit more. So he recently faced Megan Harlow in an away match. He took 4 points, 2 strikes, 10 spares, 16 tens, 20 head pin shots, 12 splits for the 5-14 series. There's a 7 drop for Dave LaRoche, 2-4-7. .247 for Dave. Fires. Oh, takes the 2 and the 4, but the ball was just a plank off to the right of the 2. Couldn't quite take the 7. For the 10 box for Dave. And he waves it off as a 9. 36 after 3 for Dave LaRoche. Dave LaRoche has the 14th highest Class C average at 104.1 and the 4th highest Class C perfect box percentage at 48%. He's a happy grandfather. His home house is was Lakeside Lanes last season. Again, he's my Sportsman League and RFAA captain and teammate. Leda Lanes and Lakeside Lanes respectively. He'll drop 2 there. He's on the pocket there for the spare, and it goes. Great shot by Dave LaRoche. Great conversion. That's a 2nd mark. 46 and a bonus after 4. Let's watch this shot again if I can get it queued up in time. Just really had to just get on that pocket and just mix them all down, just like that, and it was gone. Here's Dave, following up his 2nd spare of the half. 46 and a bonus and 4. And a 1-3 pocket. Everything but the 9. Great fill of 9 by Dave LaRoche. Strike-worthy ball. That is 55 in 4. And it looks like it might be a layup of a spare if he's right on it. And he sure is. Single pin spare. 3 marks this half for Dave LaRoche. That puts him at 65 after 5. Let's look at our score update. Dave LaRoche, a little bit more leverage in the lead for this game. He's up by 17 and a bonus in this game. 65 half to Paul Campos' 48 half. Dave LaRoche is plus 23 in the total, plus his spare fill. 261 to Paul Campos' 238. Halfway through this match here on the ACST. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. Dave LaRoche at Paul Campos in Exeter today. Here's Paul Campos. He's on the 1-2 pocket, and yikes, yikes. That's going to be a 5-7-10 split for his efforts right on the pocket. And yeah, it's just painful when you throw a ball that could be a strike and could be that. You never know sometimes. 5-7-10 for Paul Campos, and this will be an interesting one to, oops. Interesting one to go for. He went for the operative pin, the 5 pin, took the 5. No help from the cameraman who pressed the wrong button, but he left the 7 and the 10. Paul Campos. That's going to go in to the channel, and that will be an 8 box for Paul Campos. 56 after 6. Here is Paul Campos. Fires on the 1-2. It looked good, and wow, a mini rack minus its head pin. 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. That's unbelievable. Not a split either. 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I don't see this leave all that often. It's just a weird array of pins. Like, it's something about it just isn't seen all that often. Oh, and he'll bounce off a piece of wood and hit, well, an object pin. It's hard to say which pin is really the object. I guess there's technically 2. Probably the left side of the pocket to kick right, but he leaves the 6, 9, 10. And Paul Campos is going to take a 7. And that will be a 63 in 7 for Mr. Campos. Hope you're enjoying this match at home. The Saturday morning bowling, Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, Class C North. It's Dave LaRoche at Paul Campos. Dave LaRoche on the road today from down south. Here's Paul Campos, and he'll drop 6. 2, 4, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? No. Excuse me, 1, 2, 4, 8, excuse me. Wow, my ability to count is not functioning on a Saturday morning, I can tell you that right now. Paul Campos on the 1, 2, 4, 8, and he's got it. Spare for Paul Campos. 73 and a bonus in 8. Watch this. He was on the outside of the pocket too. A little risky, but higher reward, and he took the higher reward option. 73 and a bonus for Paul Campos in 8. Again, a wall of head pins for Paul Campos. Looks like 6 for 8 this game. And he drops 6. A great 6 fill and a 4 horseman leave. 1, 3, 6, 10. 79 and 8. And for the horseman shot, he'll take 3 of 4. Just a little bit, a smidge too full. Leaves the 10. Campos 9 or 10. It will be a 10 for 89 in 9. for Mr. Paul Campos. With 1 to go before we close out the third game, at least for Paul Campos, here in the third quarter of the third game. Paul Campos currently even, 14-14 season record. More points at home than away, 10-4 at home, and away 4-10. And he'll take a few out. That's a 4-drop. With a mark, Paul Campos can sail over 100. Get a buck out of the string. We'll see what happens here. Here comes Mr. Campos. And he's not on the object pin. He leaves the 1 of the 8. For the 10 box, it's, well, it was a good offer, but he'll take a 9. That'll be a 98 third game for Paul Campos. And that's going to be a 288 three-game total, 97, 93, and 98 for Paul Campos. I will double-check that score in just a moment. Bear with me. And 98 is indeed confirmed for Dave LaRoche. Paul Campos, what am I saying? Paul Campos, 98, three-game total of 288. Dave LaRoche is currently sitting on a 65 half plus a ball. He has 3 marks, 3 spares, almost a perfect half minus that 9 box in the third. He's 4 for 5 on the head pin with 1 split. 98, 98, 65 for a 2.5 game total of 261 and counting for Dave LaRoche. It's now Dave LaRoche's turn to follow up. Let's see what happens here. Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooter Sports Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire. Steve Kelly in the broadcast booth. Happy to have you along. LaRoche fires off to the left, drops 3. So it's a 3 fill at 68-5 for Dave LaRoche. Second ball is not in the object pin either, just off to the right this time. Over correction to the right, leaves the 1 and the 7. And this will be for a 10 box. And he'll make it a 9. 77-6 for Dave LaRoche. So yeah, we're at Exeter Bowling Lanes today, Shooter's Sports Pub. One of the oldest bowling alleys, established in 1946. Rob Ficara owns the place. Winner of the Best Bowling Alley in New Hampshire in 2024 by the WMUR Viewers' Choice 2024 Awards. And they featured Exeter Bowling Lanes on New Hampshire Chronicle recently. I believe that is either on WMUR's website or on YouTube. I forget where I saw it, but I do know it's online, so do check it out for a cool feature on Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooter Sports Pub. Oh, Dave LaRoche with a 3-drop opener and second ball into the ocean. Center diamond in the 6 triangle. He's just looking for pins at this point. This might neutralize that lead a little bit. And he'll make that an 8 box. That's 85-7 for Dave LaRoche now. That puts Dave LaRoche still up in the game to Paul Campos' 63 in the 7th frame. Paul Campos currently has the total by 7 3 boxes ahead and is up in the game by 13 3 boxes ahead. So Dave LaRoche may still be safe, but we'll see what happens here. And he's on the pocket. Weirdly thin hit. That was an interesting noise too. 7, 8, 9, 5. That's a split of 6 for Dave LaRoche. I believe these lanes have new pins on them. That might have explained the interesting kind of almost hollow sounding noise that came out of that shot. But Dave LaRoche, oh, a beauty of a spare by Dave LaRoche. Beauty. His 4th mark of the game, 95-8. Let's watch that shot again, shall we? Look at this. Wonderful, incredible shot by Dave LaRoche. 95 and a bonus and 8. Dave fires 1-2 pocket. He's gonna mix down 9, maybe 10. Watch that 6. Watch your 6. He'll drop 9. No need to watch your 6. I got you covered. That's 19 in 8, 104 and 8 for Dave LaRoche. And he'll spare that up too. Dave LaRoche, 2 marks in a row. He's got a lot of marks this game. 114 and counting in 9. Watch this shot again. He was right on the 6. Just queuing this up. Watch this. All over it. Dave LaRoche fires. He's off to the right, and he'll fill with 7. Watching that pin in the gutter. Yep, it's going to be 7. 1, 2, 10. 121 in 9. Oh, did he just reset? Oh boy.
Yeah, you still had another. You still had a whole other box. He said one big one.
Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I guess, oh, okay.
Is that 128?
Okay, I got it too.
Yeah, you could have kept going.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's, well, bit of an oopsie there. So Dave LaRoche mistakenly reset the lane thinking that was his 10th frame. That was actually his 9th, but he reset on the 7, so he took a 7 fill in a 7 box for a 128. Could have been higher, but a 324 3-game total for Dave LaRoche and a 3-game total of 288 for Paul Campos. Oh, that is just, that is hilarious. Okay, so he'll go with a 5 mark 3rd game, and I got to quickly move on to the 4th game, so bear with me 1 second while I just get this queued up. It's going to be Paul Campos here next. Here we go. Paul Campos drops 6. Oh goodness, yeah, that's an oopsie for sure. Yeah, always yeah. Paper and pencil scoring can trip you up. I know this isn't the first match where I've seen that happen. Not only here, Riverwalk at Harvard. Sometimes you just don't know what box you're on, and always just if you're gonna fill a mark, just be slow on that reset button press. Always just double check to make sure where you are in time and space, because your game could have been better. So there's an 8 for Paul Campos to open up the 4th game. Oh my goodness, yeah, Dave LaRoche threw the best game of the match. He threw 128. Could have been higher had he not reset on the 9th frame, but oh well. 324, 3-game total for Dave LaRoche, 296 so far for Paul Campos with this 8 box in the first game, first frame of the 4th game. Here's Mr. Paul Campos on lane 11. 1-3 pocket. 2 diamond, 4 pin wiggles, doesn't fall. 6 drop. Two, 4, 5, 8. And it's going to be something for sure. He'll take 2 and leave 2. 50% of the diamond. Half off. Paul Campos, he'll take an 8. That will be 16 after 2 for Mr. Campos. Yeah. Dave going, oops, still about that 10th frame. Here's Paul Campos just to the right of the head pin, and pins are still mixing. 6 drop. 1, 7, 10, 4. 3 6 drops in a row for Paul Campos in this game. He's averaging 5.9 in the first ball. Dave LaRoche averaging 5.8. And for the spare, oh, the ball gets stuffed, the wood gets stuffed, everything gets stuffed. Leaves the 7 and the 10. It was a ball that went right where it should have gone. It just kind of got traffic jammed down there, like on the Mass Pike. The Sunmer Tunnel. Something like that. And for the 10 box, oh, he almost gets it, but he'll take a 25 and 3. With that 9 box, 1 for 3 on the head pin, no splits, Paul Campos right now in this game. Head pin quarterback rating, 57% for Dave LaRoche and 48% for Paul Campos as of right now. Here comes Campos. It's like 5. You like jazz? 1, 3, 8, 9, 10. On the outside of the head pin, a little bit too outside, leaves the 3, 9, 10. This will be for a 10 box with a 7 box guarantee for Paul Campos. And it will be a 7 box for Mr. Paul Campos. So, oops, that wasn't the slide I wanted to show. Yeah, we'll talk some more about Exeter Bowling Lanes. Open since 1946, cash-only ATM on premises. Again, paper scoring and Seacoast, New Hampshire adjacent. Offers a variety of entertainment options for the whole family. Here's some details like bowling lanes, global, food and drinks, leagues, events and parties, and they have some great function rooms and an arcade here. It's just a great variety of stuff, and particularly shout out to their Shooter Sports Pub. Really great food in there, like really great pizzas, really great everything. Like a surprisingly huge menu at Shooter Sports Pub. Smells great even right now, even early in the morning. I can kind of smell the pizza oven going. And that's a 4 drop so far for Paul Campos and a split. Can he spare this up? Oh, he'll take all but the 4, and I know he really wanted that badly, and it had a good chance of going based on all the debris down there, but fortunately it just didn't go. Leaves the 4. He's got the 10 box though, and he'll take a 42 half. Paul Campos. 8, 8, 9, 7, 10. 2 for 5 in the head pin, 1 split. 333 and a half game total. 97, 93, and 98 for the first 3 games. 42 half in the 4th. Dave LaRoche coming off the bench with a 98, another 98, and a 128. That is ready to fire for the 4th game. Here's Dave. Dave's not here, man. Except now. LaRoche. And, well, that's going to be a 3 drop after everything settles. Wiggly back pin. For the follow-up. He's on the outside of the pocket. Great shot, but just a weird mix. 7, 8, 10, 4. The 10 box, he'll make it an 8. To start out the 4th. 8 after 1. If you're new to the ACST is a traveling speed league with 18 weeks of play and then followed by playoffs like NFL style. There's divisions, there's wild card rounds, there's all that kind of stuff. Here's Dave, another 3 drop on the right side. We are very early in this latest season, so a lot of stats and positionings and standings are still very up in the air. It isn't really until about maybe the 4th or 5th week of matches that's when you can kind of start seeing the playoff pictures start to formulate. Dave LaRoche punches out again, a working box. 4, 5, 1, 7, 10. He'll be shooting for a 10 here. That's a 5 box for Dave LaRoche. That's 13 after 2. The Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour was started in roughly 2016 by Frank DeLuca, Mike Machichi, and Rich Lamone. Each match against 2 bowlers is a scratch match. There's no handicaps or assistive point values in the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. And the season usually stretches from late summer to spring-ish on average. Here's Dave LaRoche on the head pin, and he'll drop 6 again, and he's chuckling at that again. He always loves that shot. It's the funny shot for Dave LaRoche, apparently. It's the 4-5-7-8. I don't know about you. I don't see anything funny about that shot. Just my 2 cents. Because what do you even... That wood isn't really going to help. The landscape of the pins isn't really going to help. It's just... It's going to be ugly. TV ugly. Dave LaRoche on the TV ugly shot, and, well, yeah. That ball didn't really make matters any better. It's still the same 4 pins. Ball went into the right channel. And he'll take 2, he'll cut 2 across, and he'll take an 8 box out of it. That's 21 after 3 for Dave LaRoche. Here's Dave. And he'll take 6 out, 1, 2, 4, 9. On the outside of the head pin, and he'll cut 2 out. Weird way those pins slid. 2 and 9 for Dave LaRoche. For the follow-up, he'll make it an 8 box. That's 29 and 4 for Dave. Dave LaRoche, and he's on the pocket, and it's 7-10-6. Split a 7. That shot shouldn't be as hard as it looks based on the wood. Let's watch what happens here. Yes! What did I tell you? There's a spare for Dave LaRoche, and breaking 10 boxes of just not a lot of action. That's the only mark in 10 boxes across both bowlers here. You did a great job there. Let's get you your score update while we're waiting here. That's 39 and a bonus after 5 for Dave LaRoche, and 42 after 5 for Paul Campos. Not a lot going on in terms of marks aside from Dave LaRoche, who finally took the 6-7-10 for the spare there. So he's back in the money. Let's see if Paul Campos can get back on track. Welcome back. It's Paul Campos here on the ACST Class C North at Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooters Sports Pub. Here's Paul. He'll take 6. 1, 3, 6, 10. 6 drop. And he's a little bit full on the head pin. Takes the 1 and the 2. Leaves the 6 and the 10. And he'll take a 9. That's 51 after 6 for Paul Campos. Paul Campos, 1 strike, along with Dave LaRoche, but Dave LaRoche has really pulled ahead in the spares game. He has 8 spares to Paul Campos' 3. Both bowlers have 8 10 boxes. Dave LaRoche pulling ahead in the fill total, 53 to Paul Campos' 25. There's a 6 drop and a split for Paul Campos. The bail minus the 4, that's the 2, 5, 7, 8. Campos. Oh, and it'll just a little bit off to the right there. Wanted to go for the 2-5 pocket, connected with the 5-8 instead. And it'll take, whoop, maybe a 10? Nope, it will be a 9. That's 60 and 7 for Paul Campos. Paul Campos has been struggling this game a little bit, just fishing for a mark. Headpin percentage has gone down a little bit this game compared to previous ones. 3 for 7 with 2 splits. Oh, and he'll take a quarter Worcester, and yikes, that's yeah, that's something. A quarter Worcester is half of a half Worcester, and he just punched the 3 that time. And he's on the outside of the head pin, the right way to hit that shot. He's left with the 7, the 9, the 4, and the 5. The mini eagle, the fledgling. This will be for a 10 box. Right idea. We'll take a 7 box though. Only took 1 out. That's 67 in 8 for Paul Campos. So far at 359 for the grand total pinfall. 2 boxes to go before we finish the 4th game. Dave LaRoche waiting in the wings at 363 and a bonus. 39 after 5 and a bonus for Dave LaRoche. Both bowlers kind of getting a little quieter here in the 4th. Having some fairly explosive first few games with marks and stuff. Oh yeah, we got a pin down there stuck again, so we're just going to do a respot. See it down there just kind of jammed in the back pit. Here's Paul Campos. Fires deep downfield. To the left of the head pin this time. Drops 5. 4 horsemen right in the 7. Take a few more out, leaving the 1 and the 7 down there now. And a nice 10 box though for Paul Campos. That 10 puts him at 77 and 9. 2 10 boxes this game. 3 for 9 of the head pin with 2 splits. $18 for 39 overall today. It's on the head pin, thin hit. Thin hit, but drops 5. Kind of a weird mix there. The 3 pin got kind of negotiated down by a piece of wood spinning and sliding. 4, 6, 7, 8, 10 for Paul Campos. This is going to be an ugly one because the piece of wood in front of the 6 and the 10 is kind of out a fair ways, but I don't know how helpful that's going to be. In all honesty. We'll see what happens here. He's going to shoot for it. Oh, and he took a few out, and he's waving it off as a foul. Okay, so that's going to be... So we're looking at -2 right now. -2 off of whatever the box ends up being. This will be for the 10th frame. That's going to be a 5 for Paul Campos, unfortunately, and that's going to be an 82 4th game. I will confirm that in just a moment. 374 game total, potentially. Let me just pause to check. '82 is confirmed for Paul Campos. That's a 4-game total of 370. Xbox 360 plus 10 for Paul Campos.
No, I just knew it was bad. I knew it was low 80s stuff.
He's plus 43 in the game. That's the benchmark for Dave LaRoche to achieve here. That's the wall of defense. Dave LaRoche coming off the bench on a mark, 39 after 5. 42 after 5 for Paul Campos at the same point. Dave fills with 5. Cleary left side. .44 after 5 for Dave. And on the Cleary, he'll take, everything but the 7. Floaty, lofty shot in the pocket resulted in the 7 not getting touched. 9 or 10, it's going to be a 9. 53 and 6 for Dave. 53 and 6 for Dave LaRoche. Compare that to 51 and 6 for Paul Campos. So it's a difference of 2 in the equivalent points in the game. Dave LaRoche currently with 6 points and counting. And Dave will sail off to the left and take a 3 drop on the left back Candlepin corner for 7-8. Candlepin Corner featuring the From the Office of the Commissioner podcast by Corey Alisi and Danny Finn. Do check that out on their Facebook and YouTube pages respectively. Dave will punch through the center. Not much to show for that shot. 2-6. And he'll take a nice 10 out of it, though.
That's a fancy 10.
He calls that a fancy 10, and I don't disagree. That's 63 and 7 for Dave LaRoche. In fact, I don't know. Let's have a look at the shot again. Look at that 2-6. 2-6. See you later. Dave LaRoche. Open. He'll take a 6 drop. I mean, a drop on the 6. That's a 1 drop. Excuse me. We have a name for that, called the lemon drop. First ball punch on the 4 and the 6. $1 donation to Candlepins for Cancer, and it's a $5 if it's a fill on the mark. And on that lemon drop, Dave almost spares it up. He leaves the 7. Dave's shooting for a 10. And he'll make that a 9. That puts him at 72 and 8. Compare that to 67 and 8 for Paul Campos. Oh, and another half Worcester on the 3 and the 8 for Dave. On the 3 and the 9 for Dave LaRoche. Quarter Worcester, then a half Worcester. Well, we're getting 50% better. And Dave LaRoche has the 1, 7, 10, 5, 6 now to deal with on the spare ball, and this is now for a 10. As we go into the 10th frame, we'll have to remind Dave which frame he's on. And he'll take a 7. That's 79 and 9.
1 box left.
Just yelled to him, 1 box left. Don't do it again. Three pins down for the game. He'll take the 4th game handily there with an 8 drop. 1-3 for Dave LaRoche. He takes the 4th game and has 8 points so far. Needed an 82, and that 8 drop was well beyond that benchmark. And he'll spare that up as well. He's just piling it on now. The spare for Dave LaRoche in the 10th. One ball left. Yeah, 1 ball left. We're all in on the joke now. After the last game. Right there, there's a spare. This will be filling that spare in the 10th. No confusions this time for Dave LaRoche. He can reset after this last ball. Pocket shot. He's going to take 7 on the fill. That's going to be a 96 for Dave LaRoche. 420 for Dave LaRoche after 4. With 2 spares this game. 96. 82 is confirmed for Paul Campos. Let me just double check to make sure Dave LaRoche had the 96. .96 is indeed confirmed for Dave LaRoche. All right, so going into the 5th and final game, the last chance for your total pinfall opportunities, potentially worth 6 points if you can really have a banger 5th game. Let's see what Paul Campos says about that. Welcome to Game 5. Paul Campos will take 3 on the left back corner. Campos. Oh, just a little bit off to the left. Paul Campos, better ball there, and he'll take a 6 on the out. 6 after 1 for Paul Campos to start things out. The 5th and final game. 370 was Paul Campos' 4-game total. Dave LaRoche has a 4-game total of 420. Dave LaRoche took the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th games. 98, 98, 128, 96. Paul Campos threw a 97, a 93, a 98, and an 82. And there's a 6-pack and a 4-drop. Check his ID at the Shooters Sports Pub. The bar here at Exeter Bowling Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. We ID there. And we'll ask for your ID if you get a 6-pack down on the lanes. And on the 6-pack, he's got it. Wonderful shot by Paul Campos. Let's watch this. Look at this. Beautiful. That 5-pin was taken out. The last can in the 6-pack gets drank. He's filling a spare, Paul Campos. Narrow miss on the head pin, and it's going to be a fill of 5. Nice 15 in the 2nd. 21 after 2 for Paul Campos now. Just a thin hit on the head pin on the 1-3, leaves the 7-10-6. And he'll leave the 10. Or he'll take the 10, leave the 6-7 for an 8-box for 29 after 3 for Paul Campos. Hope you're enjoying this broadcast on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook and later on 3-Ball Spare on YouTube. Do consider subscribing to both places for more Candlepin Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour action and a whole lot more. There's a 6-drop for Paul Campos. He doesn't think the shot is as funny as Dave LaRoche does. And he might have some help. Let's look at that wood down there. You see that? Play that wood to sweep over. That's probably the best idea. Campos wanted to do that. Oh, and just hit it. It's just a game of it. It's a game of angles. I would have played the same. I would have given it the same try. Five, 6, 9, 10. Looks like a 7-box. That's 36 and 4 for Mr. Paul Campos. While we're waiting, and if you wouldn't mind, I am selling some tickets for the ICC Men's Candlepin World Conference in the first week of November.
One more. 36 after 4, right?
Oh, hold on a minute. Stand by. Sorry to interrupt. They're having a scoring reconfiguration down there. They thought they were done, and they turned to me and said, he goes, "Am I done?" And I said, "I don't think so, but your call." I think they're going over that now. So stay tuned. All right, we'll talk about I'll talk about that in just a moment then. Got clotheslined by that. Okay, here we go. Paul Campos, one box to go. And he'll take 5 out. He'll spread eagle. Well, spread eagle and a bonus pin. 10 pin slid into the channel, so it is down. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Oh, and it goes into the ocean, into the center gap. I know what he wanted to do. He wanted to cut that 2 maybe off the side wall, take the 4 and the 6, and take the 3 and the 6 along with it, but not much happening there. And he'll take 1 out. That'll be a 6 box for Paul Campos. That will be the half. That will be 42 after 5. Here's your score update. 4.5 games, Paul Campos at 412. 2 for 5 in the head pin this game with 1 split. Overall, he's 21 for 45 on the head pin with 13 splits. 1 strike, 4 spares, 9 tens. Totaling 30 in bonus pins off of fills, averaging 6 on the fill. 5.4 first ball average, 47% head pin completion percentage for Paul Campos. And here's Dave. Dave's here, man. LaRoche, he's off. Oh, yeah. I guess you could say that again. He'll drop 1 and lemon drop the 4. One heck of a lemon drop there for Dave LaRoche. He's on the pocket there. A big correction. Leaves the 2, the 9, and the 10. Seven box or greater. He'll take that 7. 7 after 1. All right, so now that we have a couple of seconds, I am selling raffle tickets for my Worlds team, the Mass Holes. We'll be bowling the first week of November in Moncton, New Brunswick at the Fair Lanes, and there's going to be a drawing for a big prize pool of raffles. You can Venmo me at SkellySkelly, include in your message your name, address, city, state, zip, and phone number. 1 ticket for 5, 3 tickets for 10, 5 tickets for 20. I need your info. Ooh, great shot by Dave. Wasn't on the head pin, but he splits 8. The only reason I need your info is so I could physically write it on the card, so you can get paid if you get drawn. Simple as that. Do consider it if you want to support the team. And it's a week of bowling. We bowl 3 matches per day. It's a lot of bowling. It's a lot of travel. We're going all the way up to Moncton, New Brunswick. It's like an 8-hour drive in that. So yeah, it would be great. Oh, but you know what's also great? That's spare by Dave LaRoche. 17 and a bonus after 2 for Mr. LaRoche, and let's get that replay queued up. Watch this. Great shot by Dave. All over it. Dave is filling a spare 17 and a bonus after 2. Sponsored by the Alamo Texas Barbecue and Tequila Bar, 99 Route 113 in Brookline. And yikes, a split of 4 right down the center. Not even a spread eagle, just an ugly leave, ugly fill. 21 after 2 for Dave LaRoche. punch the 2, and that's really it. I was told these lanes were moving, and it seemed like they were earlier in the match, and now they seem to have cooled back down again. The Friday Night Pro League hangover apparently is in full swing. That's a six box for Dave LaRoche. 27 after 3 for Dave. 1 for 3 on the head pin with 2 splits. And here's Dave. I'll take 3 off the back right corner. Dave follows up. Head pin a little bit too full this time, 247. And he's got the 10. Sorry about that. That's a 10 box for Dave LaRoche, 37 after 4. Finishing the final first half to end the second quarter of the final game, game 5 of 5. Here's Dave. He'll punch 2, and yeah, the punch outs are out in force right now in Exeter. 3 and 9. It's a half Worcester. Yet another one. Dave will not hit the object pin. He'll take everything but the object pin. Just the head pin down there. Great follow up on the second ball, but not much to show for it. Leaves the head pin for a 9 or 10 box. To conclude his half. 37 after 4, potential for 47 after 5. Possibly 46 if it's a 9. And he'll make that a 9. 47 after 5 it is for Dave LaRoche. 2 10s, 1 spare for Dave LaRoche, and 1 spare for Campos. In the game is a difference of 5 in Dave LaRoche's favor. Dave LaRoche plus 5 in the game, and plus 55 in the total as of right now. 467 for Dave LaRoche, 412 for Paul Campos as your score update as we go into the final 5 boxes, and we're going to be bowling Paul Campos' final 5 boxes here. Hope you enjoyed this match. I'd like to say a couple special thanks to a few folks before we go, including our ACST committee members, including our Commissioner Danny Finn, our Class C Treasurer Anthony Caron, Statistician Micah Imperato, the staff at Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooter Sports Pub, of course. There's a headpin shot in the split for Paul Campos, just rough luck there. That's the right side castle, the 5-9-10. I'd like to thank Steve Abadili, who contributes some video content to the broadcast and the B-roll and some other stuff. You can check out his photography work at stabadili.com, STABODEELY.com. Link is also in the description. And that's Paul Campos on the castle, and he'll take the 9 out. I'd like to also thank viewers like you for watching. I always appreciate you coming out for these matches. In any way you want to support the sport and the product and all that. Love having you come out. Physically, digitally, it doesn't matter to me. And Paul Campos will take a 9 box in the 6th for 51 in 6. Shout out to some of the open source software this broadcast was created with, such as OBS, Krita, Linux, KDen Live, SyncThing, and OneDrive. And it's not OneDrive, only Office. Certainly not OneDrive. And if you want to hear about any more Candlepin content, I encourage you to subscribe to the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook and check out the Candlepin chat group on Facebook. If you want to see more of my content, I'm 3Ball Spare on Facebook and YouTube, as well as Twitch and Kick. There's also the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on YouTube, as well as Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. For the spare for Paul Campos, he almost converts it, leaves the 10, the head pin. Wiggles but doesn't fall down. If you're a TikToker, you can also check out @Candlepin Bowling on TikTok. There's also Outrun the Bear on Instagram and Facebook. And let's not forget about Candlepin Corner on YouTube, the From the Office of the Commissioner podcast. You can certainly check that out. There's Alley Chat on YouTube, Bowling with the Gothiers on YouTube, Wolfman12395 on YouTube, who uploads old classic Candlepin TV matches, the Candlepin Bowling channel on YouTube, the Ripping the Rack podcast on YouTube, the Approach podcast, Tony Levesque on YouTube, and Charlie Collins on TikTok. And that's a 4-drop for Paul Campos. It is the 4 horseman right side, the 7 and the 9. Campos in the 1-3 pocket. Oh, that was a beauty of a shot. Just the 7-pin wasn't kicked. Wasn't kicked over. Campos with a 10, and he's got that 10. That's 71 in 8 for Paul Campos now. $71 and 8 for Paul Campos. 441 so far in the total with 2 boxes remaining. 59 pins will get him to 500. And Paul will drop 4 off the left side and take a 6-pack right. The 6-pack, again, sponsored by Exeter Bowling Lanes Shooter Sports Pub. Oh, and he kicks the head pin just on the outside, but just a little bit thin. Turns into that 3-pin, thought about falling. Didn't quite do it, though. And he'll take a 6. A 6 in the 9th for Paul Campos. That puts him at 77 and 9. He can get to 97 with a triple strike. And he'll take 5. 4 horsemen and then the 5 on the right side. One, 3, 6, 10, 9. Just a little bit off target there, leaves the 1 and the 3. Eight, 9, or 10 for Paul Campos. Final ball of his match. He'll take an 8. That's an 85 after 10. And in 5 games, he's thrown a 455. 97, 93, 98, 82, and 85 for Paul Campos is his 5-game series today. 1 strike, 4 spares, 11 tens. 30 pins on the fill, averaging 6 per mark on the fills, that is. 5.4 in the first ball. 22 for 50 on the head pin, 14 splits. Averaging 91 for the day. And now, Dave LaRoche will close things out here. And Dave LaRoche will take a late delayed strike. That's one way to get a hammer with a ball peen in ball peen style. Watch this. Dave LaRoche's strike. 1-3 pocket. I thought it was a 9-drop. It was worth sticking around for because that piece of wood picked up speed and took the 4. For the double. Oh, yes, sir. He's got it. Dave LaRoche has a double strike. Oh, yeah, that's a great way to follow up with that. Here's the double. How about that? Look at that. Great double strike by Dave LaRoche. This will be for the triple now. Next ball completes the double strike fill. Can be up to 10. And he's a little bit off. That's a 3 fill on the double strike. That's 23 in the 6 for 70 and 6. Next ball completes the single strike fill, or the latest strike fill. Got it, good. Oh, and it's going to be another 3. Yikes, so 3 and 3. 83 and 7, I believe, is going to be the result of that. And he's on the pocket, and he'll take a 9. That could have been a great fill right there, but alas, that's a 9 box, and I believe it is 92 and 8 for Dave LaRoche. And let's take a Caleri on the left side. I don't know if we've really seen a lot of Caleris today, actually. We've seen a lot of, like, all the other shots, but not a Caleri so far. Well, here's the Caleri, named after Bob Caleri of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And on that Caleri, he almost takes it. The sleeper pin just isn't touched. It was safe. 10-pin shot on the 9. And, ooh, almost a second chance, but no second chances there. That's 101 and 9 with that 9 box for Dave LaRoche. One more box is confirmed. 1 box to go for Dave LaRoche. Making sure he doesn't make that same mistake twice. In the third game, he threw a 128, but he reset the lane after a spare fill by mistake, not knowing he had a whole other box to go. Could have been higher, but c'est la vie. Dave LaRoche still taking a lot of points home today. And on the pocket. Oh, almost another strike. Dave LaRoche is figuring out that strike ball here right at the end. Drop 9. That's the 4-pin down there. He's currently a 110. Could be a 111. Oh, just misses it by millimeters. So he's at 110 guaranteed with a 111 max. And he will miss it twice in 2 different ways. That's a 110. Game 5 for Dave LaRoche. And here's your score update. That's a 535 game series for Dave LaRoche. 98, 98, 128, 96, and 110. Let me double check that score just to make sure. Yes, 110 is confirmed for Dave LaRoche. So 98, 98, 126, 96, and 110 for Dave LaRoche. 97, 93, 98, 82, and 85 for Paul Campos. Here's our final stats. Today, Dave LaRoche will take, oh boy, 14 points. He'll take them all. That's a clean sweep, full wipe by Dave LaRoche on the road. So he'll move to 26 and 16. Paul Campos will go to 14 and 28. In this, still early in the season. So Dave LaRoche 530, Paul Campos 455. It was the Dave LaRoche show for pretty much the entire day. 3 strikes, 10 spares for Dave LaRoche, 1 strike, 4 spares for Paul Campos, 11 10s for both bowlers. 48% perfect box percentage for Dave LaRoche, 32% for Paul Campos. Dave LaRoche really on the fills, totaling 85 bonus pins. Campos totaled 30. Dave LaRoche averaging 6.5 on each fill. Paul Campos averaging 6. First ball averages were roughly the same. Dave LaRoche 5.5, Paul Campos 5.4. And for the head pin department, actually also very close. Dave LaRoche 23 for 50, Paul Campos 22 for 50, 9 splits for Dave LaRoche, and a whopping 14 for Paul Campos. Look at that spread and difference right there. 106 average for Dave LaRoche and 91 for Paul Campos. In the boxes, 1 head-to-head stats. Dave LaRoche really pulled ahead, winning 28 boxes. Paul Campos winning 14. All the others were ties. And I'll show you some graphs as well. If you're interested, feel free to pause the video if you want to take a look at this and dive into this in any more depth or detail or whatnot. So do check this out. So here's all the graphs and stuff. First ball average had an interesting swing, particularly in the third game there. But the fill bonus, though, yes, you can see it was mostly all about Dave LaRoche for most of the match here. Anyways, so I believe that should just about be enough for us here today. Again, consider my Mass Holes raffle tickets. I got a Venmo, or if you want to talk to me in person, Whichever way, it doesn't matter to me. I always appreciate you if you consider that. Anyways, that should just about do it for us here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, provided by 3 Ball Spare. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, I would appreciate you. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions or anything of the sort. Anyways, I've been Steve Kelly, and for Paul Campos and Dave LaRoche, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you at the next Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match. Have a great one, everyone.